You see, the biggest mistake most people make is they start running someone else's race. They look left, they look right, and before they know it, they've lost sight of what's in front of them. But listen to me, your journey is yours. Nobody else was called to walk your path. Nobody else was given your exact gift, your exact fingerprint, your exact set of battles and blessings. So why are you wasting your time watching them? You keep scrolling, watching who bought a new car, who hit 1 million followers, who's flying first class. And every time you do that, you feed this idea that you're behind, that you're not enough, that you're not moving fast enough, not doing big enough things. But what you don't understand is they might be on chapter 20 and you're on chapter 3 and you're out here trying to rush your process because of someone else's highlight reel. Let me tell you something, comparison is a thief. It'll steal your joy, it'll steal focus, and if you let it, it'll steal your destiny. You're so busy watching them win, you stop believing that your win is coming too. But here's the truth. When you stay in your lane, you focus on your growth, your discipline, your grind, you start to build momentum. And momentum beats hype every single time. See, the most dangerous thing you can do is dilute purpose trying to imitate someone else's. You're not supposed to move like them. You're not supposed to talk like them. You're not supposed to win like them. You were created to dominate in your space, in your time, in your season, and when that time comes, nothing and no one can stop it. But you got to earn it in the dark. You got to earn it when nobody's watching. The problem is you're letting the outside noise distract you from your inside voice. You knew what you were supposed to do. You had the vision, you had the dream, you had the fire, but then you got online. You got distracted. You let somebody else's success talk you out of your grind. And now you're questioning what you were born to do because somebody else is doing their thing and doing it loud. But hear me clearly, your purpose is not on display, it's in development. Stop chasing their light and start protecting your flame. You don't need a spotlight to grow, you need focus. Trees don't grow with noise. They grow in silence. They grow with consistency, water, like time. Roots before fruits. But everybody wants to skip the roots part. Everybody wants the fruit. Everybody wants the stage. The followers, the claps. But you don't understand it's the time underground that makes you unshakable when the storm comes. You can't build legacy looking left and right. You can't build mastery checking how far ahead someone else is. You want to build something that lasts. You better get serious about your own roast. You better wake up every day and say, I owe me. Not them, not the algorithm, not the likes. I owe me. That means I show up even when I don't feel like it. That means I lock in even when nobody's clapping. That means I don't quit just because someone else got their breakthrough before me. Let them post. Let them brag. Let them go viral. Let them trend. But as for you, you're staying focused. As for you, you're building in silence. Because when your moment comes, when the light hits you, you'll be ready. You won't have to fake it. You won't have to pretend. You won't have to beg anybody to notice. They'll feel you. Because real always recognizes real. And if you really want peace, if you really want to level up, get serious about ignoring noise. That's right, protect your peace like your life depends on it. Because it does. You can't build your future watching everybody else's present. Every minute you spend distracted is a minute you're not developing. Every second you spend doubting yourself because of somebody else's success is a second you could have been planting, building, stretching, learning. This thing is internal. This thing is about you versus you. You don't have time to compete with them. You don't have time to envy them. You don't even have time to explain yourself to people who can't see the vision. Because guess what? They weren't supposed to see it. It was given to you. It's your job to protect it, nurture it, and bring it to life. Some of you are losing because you're available to everything and committed to nothing. Lock in, shut it out. Block the noise. Stop chasing the approval. Start chasing the process. That's how you win. Quietly, patiently, relentlessly. You keep showing up when it's boring, when it's lonely, when it's hard. And you keep your head down long enough for your work to start speaking louder than your words ever could. So no, you don't need to post it. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. All you need to do is stay faithful to the grind. Respect the process. And remember this one truth, your lane is enough. Stay in it. Own it. And run it like your life depends on it. Everybody wants to shine, but nobody wants to grind. Everybody wants to be known, but nobody wants to be disciplined. You know why? Because attention is easy, but discipline, that's work. That's sweat. That's lonely nights, early mornings, no recognition, no applause. And the truth is, a lot of people would rather look successful than actually be successful. You keep chasing the attention. You keep checking who liked your post, who commented, who's watching you, who's not. And while you're doing that, someone else is in the lab locked in, doing the work. While you're counting views, they're stacking wins. While you're worried about followers, they're focused on foundation. You think just because people are watching, it means you're winning. Nah. Let me help you. Just because the light is on you doesn't mean you're ready. The light don't make you, it exposes you. And if you haven't done the work, if the discipline isn't there, the same spotlight you chase will reveal all the places you cut corners. You can't fake consistency. You can't fake grind. You can't fake the hours behind the scenes. So stop worrying about who's paying attention. Stop worrying about what you're building when no one's looking. Discipline is doing what you said you do long after the mood you set it in has left. You said you were going to wake up early. Then you hit snooze. You said you were going to write the plan, start the business, go to the gym, make the call, but you're disciplined louder than your excuses. You had the motivation, but not the habits. You had the vision, but not the routine. See, success is not about hype. It's about habits. It's about what you do every single day when nobody's clapping, when nobody's checking for you. That's where the real growth happens. Not on the stage, not on the screen, but in the shadows when you choose discipline over distractions. You want to be great. Then you got to stop negotiating with your potential. You don't get to say, I'll do it when I feel like it. No. Champions don't need perfect conditions. They create them. Champions not need cameras to perform. They train in silence. And when their number gets called, they're not surprised. They're ready. The reason some of y'all aren't seeing results is because you treat discipline like an option. It's not. It's the requirement, the entry fee, the standard. You don't get to rise without routine. You don't get to elevate without execution. Dreams without discipline are just wishes, and wishes don't build empires. People say they want it, but they don't want to pay for it. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about time, energy, focus, sacrifice. The kind of sacrifice that don't make sense to others. The kind of sacrifice that doesn't look good on Instagram. The kind of sacrifice that forces you to say no to 100 things so you can say yes to the one thing that matters. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them wonder where you went. Let them wonder why you're not out, why you're not posting, why you're not flexing. While they're busy watching each other, you're busy watching the vision. While they're building an image, you're building an identity. You think you need more motivation? No, you need more discipline. Motivation is seasonal. Discipline is daily. You think you need someone to validate you? No, you need to validate yourself by showing up every single day like your future depends on it. Because it does. I need you to stop being emotionally led. Feelings are liars. Feelings will tell you it's okay to take a day off. It's okay to skip a step. It's okay to coast. But discipline says we're not done yet. Discipline says this is non-negotiable. Discipline says we keep going until it's finished. And here's the thing, discipline is lonely. Everybody wants the outcome, but few are willing to endure the process. You're not always going to have people cheering you on. You're not always going to feel like you're making progress. But if you stay consistent, if you stay locked in, if you keep your head down and your heart focused, the results will come. Slowly, quietly, powerfully. And when they come, you won't have to explain. You won't have to convince anybody. You won't need a press release. Your work will speak for itself. Your results will make the announcement. So from this day forward, choose discipline. Choose it over comfort. Choose it over recognition. Choose it over the temporary high of being seen. Because the real prize is not in being noticed, it's in being prepared. Let the others chase attention while you chase greatness. You keep thinking you need an audience to be great. You keep telling yourself, once people see me, once they recognize me, once they know what I'm capable of, then I'll all in. But that's not how this works. That's not how greatness is born. You want to know when the real ones rise? When no one's watching, when it's just them, the grind and the voice inside that refuses to let them quit. You got to learn how to work like nobody's watching, because most of the time, nobody is. There's no applause, no likes, no cameras, just effort, just discipline. Just you versus the version of you that wants to cut corners. You got to show up anyway. Not for the class, not for the crowd, for the call on your life, the purpose inside you that don't care about attention. It only responds to action. The reason most people never get where they're trying to go is because they wait on someone to watch them first. Once I get a platform, I'll be consistent. Once I get followers, I can take it seriously. No, that's backwards. You don't become great after people notice you, you become great before. In the dark, in the quiet, in the moments nobody ever sees. You're out here trying to make noise before you built anything worth listening to. Don't do that. Don't spend your energy announcing something you haven't even finished. Put your head down and build. Let your grind be louder than your words. Let your discipline be louder than your declarations. Every success story you admire, it started in obscurity. Every giant you look up to, they were once unknown, unseen, uncelebrated, but they kept showing up, kept pushing, kept working like the world was watching, even though it wasn't. You got to be willing to give your best in silence, knowing that one day the silence will break and your work will speak. Let me tell you something real. If you only give 100% when people are watching, you're not built for this. If you only grind when it's trending, you're not built for legacy. Because this game is built in the shadows. It's built when no one is clapping. It's built when the results aren't there yet. And the voice in your head is the only thing keeping you going. And I know how it feels. I know what it's like to give you all and feel like nobody cares. I know what it's like to wake up early, stay up late, and still feel unseen. But let me remind you, your reward doesn't come from attention. It comes from alignment. When you're aligned with your purpose, when you know you're doing what you were born to do, it don't matter who's watching. You show up because it's who you are. Some of you are addicted to being seen, addicted to validation, addicted to approval. And that's why you can't stay consistent, because every time no one notices, you start doubting yourself. You start pulling back. But hear me, you got to let that go. You got to build your identity on something stronger than applause. You got to build it on mission, on values, on discipline. That's the stuff that lasts. Look, everybody wants to blow up, but nobody wants to grow up. Growth happens in the hidden places. You grow in the reps no one sees. You grow in the prayers nobody hears. You grow in the nights you cry yourself to sleep, but still show up the next morning ready to grind. That's where the fire gets forged. You're trying to go public with something that hasn't been proven in private yet. But private victories come before public success. You got to earn it in the dark before you shine in the light. Otherwise, the light will expose what the dark never prepared you for. So don't be afraid of the silence. Embrace it. Own it. That's silence. That's your training ground. That's where you build your foundation. That's where you get honest with yourself. That's where you learn to push without a cheerleader, to rise without recognition, to stay focused without a finish line in sight. You don't need a stage to be excellent. You don't need a crowd to be committed. You don't need fans to be faithful. What you need is a reason deep enough to keep showing up when the world says, "Who do you think you are?" A reason big enough to wake up early and stay up late. A reason strong enough to silence the doubt and fuel the fire. Work like no one's watching, because when the moment finally comes, when the spotlight finally hits you, when the world finally says, "Where did they come from?" you'll be ready. You won't be shocked. You won't be nervous. You'll be built solid, strong, rooted. Because while they were watching each other, you were sharpening your sword in silence. And when you finally speak, when your work finally hits the world, it won't be noise, it'll be impact. because it came from a place of quiet discipline and unshakable purpose. So keep working, keep rising, keep building like no one's watching, because that's exactly how legends are made. Got everybody talking, everybody posting, everybody shouting about what they're going to do. I'm about to level up. Watch me this year. Just wait, I'm coming. But guess what? Talk is cheap. Words don't build empires. Declarations don't create results. You can tell the world your plans, or you can show them through your progress. You can spend your time crafting captions, or you can spend it creating something worth remembering. Real power, it doesn't make noise, it makes moves. You keep thinking the world needs to hear your every step. Now, what the world needs is to see your consistency, your evolution, your fruits. You don't need to explain, announce, or convince. You just need to execute. You just need to show up and do what you said you would do when nobody's clapping, nobody's watching, and nobody's cheering. Let your results make the noise. Let your discipline write the story. See, too many people trying to prove something, trying to get noticed, trying to go viral. But the real ones, they ain't trying their training. They're not trying to be seen. They're too busy becoming. You don't see them posting every move because they're not worried about credit. They're not obsessed with attention. They're locked in. And that's the difference between hype and legacy. You know what happens when you talk too much about what you're going to do? You leak energy. You drain the same power that's supposed to be fueling your grind. You give it away in empty promises and halfway efforts. But when you keep it quiet, when you hold that thing close, protect it, work on it behind the scenes, now you're cooking. Now you're building something real, something solid, something unstoppable. People ask why you're so quiet lately. Because I'm working. Because I'm locked in. Because I'm letting my work speak louder than my mouth ever could. Let them wonder. Let them assume. Let them sleep while they talk you real, while they boast you grind. And when it's time, when the product is done, when the growth is undeniable, that's when the world will hear you not through words, but through results. You think every move needs a post. Every win needs a broadcast. But some of your greatest victories won't be shared, they'll be felt. Quiet moves have loud consequences, the ones who move in silence. They don't just surprise people, they shake the room. Because nobody saw them coming. Nobody was ready for the kind of pressure that comes from someone who's been working in the dark with purpose and precision. You got to be okay with not being noticed. You got to be okay with people underestimating you. You got to be okay with walking in rooms where they don't see you yet. Because your presence isn't tied to noise, it's tied to substance. And when substance shows up, everything changes. Let me be real with you. If you got to keep explaining what you're building, maybe it's not strong enough yet. Maybe it needs more time in the fire. Maybe it needs more sweat, more grind, more sacrifice. And that's okay. It's okay to go quiet for a season while you get yourself together. It's okay to fall back so you can come back with power. You don't have to post your process. You just need to own it. Stop trying to convince people to believe in you. Believe in yourself enough to go silent and let the results handle the talking. That's the only language the world respects. Results. That's the only thing that silences critics, ends doubt, and turns silence into celebration. You want respect. Earn it. You want recognition. Don't ask for it, demand it with your work. You want them to take you seriously. Then stop talking and start delivering. Let your consistency become your voice. Let your results echo so loud that even the people who ignore you can't pretend not to hear it. And don't be discouraged when nobody claps for you right now. That's not your focus. Your focus is on mastering your craft, getting better every day, breaking your own limits. This ain't about proving the doubters wrong. It's about proving yourself right. You said you were called. You said you were chosen. Then act like it, move like it, build like it, in silence, with excellence. People who are serious don't have time to talk about every move. They're too busy making the next one. They don't need to be seen right now because they know when the time is right, the spotlight will find them. And when it does, they won't flinch. They won't fold. They'll be ready because they didn't waste time entertaining. They used time preparing. So you don't need to yell. You don't need to post it. You don't need to prove a thing. Just go to work. Go deeper. Get better. And when the time comes, when your work is undeniable, you won't need to announce it. Your results will walk in the room and speak on your behalf. Everybody wants to win, but don't nobody want to sacrifice. You say you're hungry, but are you willing to let go of the things that are keeping you average? Are you willing to say no to comfort, to convenience, to that easy life everybody else is chasing? Because let me tell you something, growth demands space. And sometimes that space only shows up when you learn how to let go. You're holding on to too much, too many distractions, too many voices, too many opinions, too many habits that ain't helping you get to where you said you want to go. You keep saying, I want to grow. Then why are you still entertaining the things that are keeping you small? Why are you still feeding your ego, your need for approval, your fear of missing out? You can't care about your calling and your comfort. One of them has to go. If you really want to elevate, you got to be willing to lose some weight. And I'm not talking about physical weight. I'm talking about emotional weight, mental weight, spiritual weight. The kind of weight that slows down your purpose, that clouds your clarity, that steals your focus. Some of you are stuck not because you're incapable, but because you're unwilling to release what no longer fits where you're going. You keep trying to drag people into your future who are only assigned to your past. You keep trying to make excuses for why you're not consistent. But deep down, you know it's because you're still holding on to habits that drain you. And here's the truth, growth requires loss. Every level you want to step into comes with a letting go, a shedding, a sacrifice. Let me make it real for you. You want to be more focused. Then you got to let go of distractions. You want to be more disciplined. Then you got to let go of lazy mindset. You want more peace. Then you got to let go of toxic people in chaotic environments. This isn't about cutting people off to be cold. It's about protecting your capacity so you can grow into who you were created to be. There's a cost to growth, a cost to focus, a cost to purpose. And that cost is usually paid in silence, in isolation, in the space where you're no longer doing what's popular, you're doing what's purposeful. You're no longer going with the crowd, you're walking your own path. And it's hard. It's uncomfortable. But that's where transformation happens. See, everybody wants to glow up. But the glow up requires to give up. You can't glow and grow if you refuse to give up what no longer serves you. You want to go higher? You got to travel lighter. You want to be sharper? You got to cut off the dull stuff. You want to get serious? Then stop playing with things that make you soft. I need you to look at your life and ask yourself, what am I still carrying that's weighing me down? What do I keep going back to that keeps me from going forward? What have I outgrown but still won't let go of because it's familiar, it's comfortable, or it feeds my ego? You want next level results. Then it's time for next level decisions. And those decisions will cost you. They'll cost you comfort. They'll cost you popularity. They'll cost you approval. They'll cost you some late nights, some lonely mornings, some weekends where you grind while others relax. But that's the price of growth. And you got to be willing to pay it. You can't water your purpose and your distractions at the same time. One of them has to die for the other to live. And the more you delay, the more you stay in the same cycle, starting strong, fading out, getting motivated, then losing momentum. Why? Because you haven't made room for growth. You're still trying to grow in the same environment that kept you stuck. Let it go. Let go of the fear that says you're not ready. Let go of the mindset that says it's okay to settle. Let go of the people who clap for your potential but never challenge your discipline. Let go of the habits that comfort you but don't change you. This is not about being perfect. This is about being intentional. About being honest with yourself. About saying, if it's not helping me evolve, I don't want it in my life anymore. You have to be bold enough to say, I'm done watering what doesn't grow me. I'm done feeding what doesn't fuel me. I'm done keeping what I should have released a long time ago. And yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to feel lonely. Yes, there will be moments when you question everything. But on the other side of that pain is progress. On the other side of that discomfort is a version of you you've never seen before, but always knew you were capable of becoming. You got to understand, growth is not just about doing more, it's about becoming more. And becoming more means giving up less. Less gossip, less scrolling, less comparing, less explaining, less proving, just less of everything that dims your light and delays your purpose. So I need you to make a decision, not tomorrow, not next week, now, and decide what you're done with. Decide what you're releasing. Decide what you're willing to lose to finally grow into the person you were destined to be. Because the weight you refuse to drop today is the same weight that'll keep you grounded tomorrow. Not everybody's in a rush to be seen. Everybody wants to be known, to be celebrated, to have the spotlight shine on them right now. But let me tell you something, the real power. It's not in being seen too soon. It's in being ready when the moment finally finds you. Some of you all are praying for a breakthrough, but you don't realize that if it came today, you wouldn't even be able to carry it. You got to stop chasing the moment and start preparing for it. See, this whole journey focusing on yourself, working hard in silence, making moves behind the scenes, it's not just about building something. It's about becoming someone. It's about becoming the type of person who can handle the weight of success, the type of person who doesn't crumble when the pressure hits, who doesn't fall apart when the recognition finally shows up. Because here's the truth, the spotlight will either expose you or confirm you. And if you haven't done the inner work, if you haven't developed discipline, if you haven't laid the foundation in private, when the lights come on, you'll be found lacking. You don't prepare for greatness in the moment. You prepare for it before the moment ever arrives. You grind now so you can be ready later. You build yourself up now so when the opportunity knocks, you don't hesitate. You open the door and walk through like it was always yours because you put in the hours, the sacrifice, the sweat when nobody was looking. Too many people are asking for a stage, but they haven't sharpened their voice. They want influence, but they haven't developed character. They want followers, but they haven't figured out who they really are. Let me tell you, that's dangerous. Getting something you're not ready for can break you. It can inflate your ego, distort your purpose, and sabotage the very future you prayed for. You got to earn the right to stand tall, not by talking about what you're going to do, but by proving it in the dark. Preparation is what separates the hype from the heavy hitters. It's what separates the ones who show up for a season from the ones who last for a lifetime. This isn't about going viral. It's about going deep, deep into your discipline, deep into your character, deep into your calling. Because when life tests you, and then when you won't have time to prepare, you'll either be ready or you won't. And don't confuse motion with preparation. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're building. Just because you're active doesn't mean you're aligned. I'm talking about preparation that's intentional, focused, rooted in purpose. That means you're not wasting time scrolling for validation. You're not filling your schedule just to feel productive. You're locking in. You're building systems. You're strengthening your mindset. You're doing the hard work now. So when your name finally gets called, you don't flinch. You don't fake. You flow. Some of why want the reward, but you don't want the routine. You want the crown, but you won't carry the cross. You think you can skip the process and still earn the prize. But it doesn't work like that. You can't microwave greatness. You can't shortcut destiny. You got to train for it. You got to go through the seasons where it feels like nobody sees you, where nothing seems to be happening, where you're giving everything and getting nothing in return, and you still keep going. You still stay ready. Let me ask you something. If everything you've been praying for showed up today, would you be able to sustain it? Could you lead it? Could you steward it? Or would it overwhelm you? Would it break you? That's why the silence is necessary. That's why the quiet seasons matter. They don't mean you're being punished. They mean you're being prepared. You want to lead? Then practice leadership in private. You want to speak? Then message your message in the mirror. You want to run a business? Then study your craft while everybody else is sleeping. You want to rise? Then humble yourself now. Work when nobody's watching. Grow when nobody's clapping. Because the real test is not how loud you can be, it's how long you can last. And lasting power only comes from preparation. There's going to be a moment when the doors swing open, when people finally start noticing, when the opportunities start coming faster than you imagine. And in that moment, you won't have time to catch up. You'll either be built or you break. You'll either rise to the occasion or fold under the pressure. So don't focus on when will it happen. Focus on why be ready. Being ready is about making excellence your lifestyle, not a performance. It's about doing it right when nobody's around to praise you for it. It's about the late nights, the early mornings, the disciplined choices, the sacrifices nobody claps for. That's what builds you. That's what prepares you. When the moment shows up, you won't need to adjust, you'll just step in. This is what separates the pretenders from the prepared. You want to change your life. Then stop waiting for the moment to show up and start becoming the person that moment requires. Be so ready that when the opportunity comes, you don't chase it, you match it. You meet at the level of your preparation. That's the real win. Stay ready so you never have to get ready.